Well, I'm here, Brandon's here, Bernie's here, and
Still here.
company, they're here too. Everybody's in the house. I apologize, I haven't gotten to the dishes yet. Actually, I love that cup right there.
I like that.
Yeah, I have a new cup. I have a new cup, by the way. I was having trouble remembering to take my medication in the morning. I never forget to take my coffee, but I forget to take my medication. So I decided
Priorities.
to take my coffee and put my coffee in my medication cup. Let me see.
Here, go this way. I can't see it. There it is.
Why? Oops, I'm messing myself up.
Ah, there you go. That's better.
And
You know, it's the color scheme that's throwing it off.
Yeah.
That's why.
the medication goes in the cup, and then I pour my coffee in and mix it up, and that way I can take my medication and my coffee at the same time. And I don't.
It's like a healthy rusty nail.
There you go. There you go. This is a rusty nail for seniors.
Yeah, I get it. I know some people that pop pills in their drinks, but
That's right.
anyway.
So, but as we mentioned, we are brought to you by Patriot Sandwich Company in Denton, Texas. Get over there, see David Jordan and his staff over there. They make phenomenal sandwiches, quite a variety of sandwiches. You can go there every day of the week, and it'd probably take you a month before you've sampled everything. But great sandwiches, great drinks. Mention Trash Talk, and you'll get an upgrade to a free drink with your sandwich. Tell them that we sent you over there. Yeah, we ain't talking those wimpy little.
It's huge.
We're talking monster there drinks.
And you can follow them. You can follow them on Facebook and Instagram or their website. They'll give you all the updates. So check them out on Facebook. They got some fun stuff on there.
You're right. You know, and I mean, there isn't a place in social media that you can't find the Patriot Sandwich Company, and you can't find Trash Talk, which is amazing in itself to me. The social media. I mean, I remember, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook. You know, then it was Twitter, and then it's Spotify, and it's Anchor, and it's wow. I mean,
well, it's never ending. I mean, I remember back in the day with MySpace, and MySpace was one of the first real true social media platforms that you could actually go in, create your page, put your pictures up, you could add music to it. And I love MySpace. Personally, I still think MySpace was better than Facebook. Then Facebook came along, and it was only for people in college, or if you graduated college. You had to log in with your school, you had to and it did not look like it did now. It was very boring, very just blah, and it was to connect with old college mates. That's all it was. Yeah. And then everybody was like, oh, Facebook's not going to last. Nothing's going to take down MySpace. Facebook did a 180. MySpace no longer exists. Well, in all fairness, it does exist. I actually found out, because I still have an account. I don't do anything with it. I log in sometimes. There's one guy that works for MySpace, just one. And all he does.
It's his space.
Yeah, exactly. He works from home. I've talked to him. All he does is do password retrievals, password resets. That's it. That is his job. That's the only thing he does on MySpace. They thought they were going to do a MySpace revival. Justin Timberlake bought it and was going to make it more about music, and that never happened. I don't know if he still owns it, but it's amazing to see from MySpace, 10, 15 years ago to what social media is now. It's crazy.
And then, like, I've never been much into Twitter. I don't know why, because I think I just find too much offensive or nonsensical stuff on Twitter and all. But you got Snapchat. I got a niece that's on Snapchat, and every day she's on Snapchat with more pictures of her toddler. Here he is eating, and here he is pooping, and here he is sleeping, and here he is crawling, and here he is playing with the dog. And you got all the Snapchat, Instagram.
Yep.
My gosh, there's so many of them out there. I mean, I got into Spotify basically for music, but now Spotify posts all kinds of the kind of stuff. Not that I'm arguing with it, because we're on a lot of those platforms, and the more platforms that you're on, the more people see us. And we thank you very, very much for that.
Well, and it's social media is a blessing. Well, I wrote an article a few years ago and about social media being a blessing and a curse, and it really is a blessing and a curse. There's a total negative side to social media, and we've seen that a lot nowadays. I mean, unfortunately, right now, and I think the pandemic didn't help, but unfortunately, right now with social media, I can go on in a conversation and see a picture of an avocado, okay? And I can be like, oh, wow, I really like avocados, but I don't eat a lot of guacamole. Somebody's going to comment and say, you don't like guacamole? What are you, a racist?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's so venomous, and you can't even talk to people about anything. You just have to just kind of go with it and stick it with your inner circle.
I come from four generations of avocado growers, and we're coming after you.
It's crazy. And but I do think that there's some great benefits to social media. I mean, if we can look at it and get back to where you're communicating with people that maybe you can't see every day, checking in on your family, looking up events or stuff to do in the area. And from a business side, like Patriot Sandwich Company, it's free marketing. Yeah, you can pay for stuff, but if you know how to do it right, you can really market and reach a lot more people with a lot less money. And I think that that's a bonus,
Because there are so many sites and everything, you have to go in and determine from the your involvement standpoint which are going to be the best for you. Because as I say, like now the latest one is this TikTok, which I think appeals a lot to the young, because you could distort people's faces and all that kind of crazy stuff and all. But for me, for a little bit older people, or if you're looking to really connect with business people, or so, like LinkedIn is a great one, because I find that most of the conversation on LinkedIn is above ground. It's straightforward, respectful. There's other sites like Nextdoor, which I think a lot of communities have, which originally, when I first got involved with Nextdoor, it was like you could buy and sell, and somebody's looking for a podiatrist, where they're looking for a good chiropractor in the area. But now everybody's posting all kinds of garbage and everything on that. And then there are leads, if you will, that go through, and their job is to find anything that might be offensive or not appropriate and knock it off.
And I'm one of these weird guys where I know. I love social media, and it's made me money, and it still makes me money.
Yeah.
But I also hate it at the same time. So I don't do everything, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter are my main three. I'm on Snapchat, but I hardly ever use it. Luke and I use it more than anything. And then I'm on a couple other, obviously, podcast sites, and I'm on LinkedIn and things like that. I was on TikTok in the beginning. So TikTok came from Vine. Vine was owned by Twitter, I believe. And it was really fun. It was right at the cusp where making funny videos, watching a cat walk across the street and then fall for no reason, or, it was really funny. And then they got rid of it because YouTube was dominating that. And then TikTok came around. So my problem with TikTok is a couple things. And I know I'm going to make everybody mad again. That's what I've done this month. I've just made people mad. I'm so sorry, guys. I'll be better next month.
It's your calling. It's your calling. Here, let's see. How can I piss off my audience today?
I think I'm trying to prepare when I'm a cranky old man, So I'm really not that cranky, guys. I'm a pretty happy guy. But TikTok, to me, like when I first started it, there were celebrities on there like Kevin Hart and Gordon Ramsay. And it was fun to watch them because they were doing funny stuff. And then, of course, other people would post funny videos. Here's a horse jumping over a car. I don't know why it's funny, but it's funny. But then it turned into a bunch of 17-year-old white girls who can't dance to hip hop, half naked, dancing badly, doing the same thing over and over again in their bathroom where I can see how dirty their shower is. Like
Yeah.
and now my feed, my Twitter feed, or not my Twitter, my TikTok feed, that's all it is. It's like, oh, here's another girl, pass. Oh, here's another, oh, great, she's wearing less. And I'm like,
Yes.
I feel bad for them because that's society nowadays. That's what it is. And I can't even blame them, Their mom's probably downstairs drinking a bottle of wine. Dad's probably at Hooters looking at
mom's
TikTok.
probably downstairs on eHarmony or Match.com or something.
Yeah. Mom's on Match. Dad's at Hooters talking to the girl he just saw on TikTok. And his daughter's posting a new video. But I feel bad. I just want to tell the girls to stop it. Like, that stays with you forever. That's not going anywhere.
Right.
And unless you plan on working at certain clubs, you better get rid of that,
Well, not only that, but you find that later in life, all of a sudden it comes back to haunt you, because when you apply for that job that you always wanted, and somebody digs back and finds that you were on TikTok, in some rather inappropriate, postings and everything, that might come back to haunt you.
It's crazy because, and that's the thing about social media. I found pictures when I Google my name. Of course, I Google my name, random stuff comes up, and there's stuff that's not even me, but there's pictures from MySpace. There's pictures from years ago when I went down to the Dean Martin Festival in Steubenville, Ohio, and I was in their newspaper. Like, that was 15 years ago, it doesn't go away. So I think that's the negative side of social media. And I think if you notice, kids nowadays, they don't really communicate very well, most of them. If they don't use their phone for anything but texting or social media.
That's right. Yeah.
They have confrontations or discussions through text, which is never good. It's like they can't figure out how to communicate because of the way they do things nowadays.
And it's all in like shorthand. I just, that always, the how you could take a sentence and put it into letters, like what was a friend sent me something, or I posted something and she came back with LMAO. LMAO.
Well,
Finally realized, you know what it is?
I know what it is.
You know what it is? Yeah, laughing my ass off.
Yeah.
But you're sitting there thinking you can write a text that's all these letters. I mean, my favorite one still goes back to when we were growing up. You used to say okay. It was spelled OKAY. And then somebody decided, well, you don't need the AY, just okay.
Right.
No, all you need is K.
Or just a thumbs up now. You just take an emoji.
Yeah. K is short for okay. What's so hard about typing in okay?
Well, it's funny too, because and also K can have different meanings too.
Okay.
So depending on the conversation, if I ever send a K, I'm probably not in a good mood or I'm pissed off, because typically I'll respond back going, okay. But that used to be the thing with, if somebody sent me a K, I was like, what do you mean K? What's wrong with them? Why are they mad at me? Yeah. But it's a communication breakdown. That's the problem. And I think there's a need for it. Don't get me wrong. I think that shorthand stuff, I like to shorten words sometimes, but I think it's really social media. And I think in the last year or two, it has gotten so beyond toxic. Everybody's an expert. Everybody's putting misinformation out there. And now, of course, you've got social media, and I'm not getting on the political side. You've got social media now that's making the call on who can say what and when can say what, and that's a problem for me,
Yeah. But and also, not to get serious, because we don't like to do that very often.
I don't know what that is.
But I just find that sometimes people will post stuff that's just completely false.
Yes.
Because I'll say it now, it's not true, it's offensive, it's going to hurt somebody, but I can always come back a month from now and I can say, well, that was taken out of context, or that's not exactly what I meant. but you
There's
back then
there really is no fact checking on social media.
right.
Um, Not really. People just blurt it out. Even so-called news outlets, which don't report the news anymore, just blurt out stuff, and then they'll come back and go, "Oh, we're going to retract that." The damage is already done. And it's not cool. I mean, I like social media for the fun factor. On my page, I very rarely get serious. Sometimes I do, but it's always in a humorous manner. Thank God for Bernie. Bernie made social media great again. So that's cool. But what about dating on social media? It's something I haven't tried, but it's huge.
Yeah, and not only that, but now um, uh, what do you call it? Where you can take your photo, Photoshop.
Oh yeah.
You can Photoshop it. So somebody is 70 years old, but they can make themselves look 50.
Well, you're talking to a woman on one of the dating sites or what have you, and you're doing like a Zoom call or a chat or whatever, and you can do all kinds of filters, but you're talking to her and you're like, wow, she's really pretty. You go to meet her and she's 155 pounds heavier, bald, with a tattoo on her eye, looking like Mike Tyson.
And her name is Monica.
And her name is Monica, and she's got a sister named Tiffany. So you got to 86 her.
I had to throw that in someplace.
For us, social media is great for the podcasting, for the shows that you do, for for blogs. I think it opens up a whole new world of media and entertainment, ways to make money. I think it's great. There is the dark side.
Yeah, and especially now during the pandemic and everything, it's allowed people to be connected with other people in different parts of the country too. Like Alignable and LinkedIn are the two that come to mind for me. Is again, I think the kids would have absolutely no interest at all in Alignable or in LinkedIn, because it's really more for people that want to really converse with each other, send messaging, ask for questions to be answered. But I mean, I have to admit that a lot of our shows and some of my shows with KVGI Radio, they are on multiple platforms that I never heard of.
Yeah,
I'm on something called Breaker, and
yep.
There's a Radio Public, Alignable, Pocket Casts. I mean, I'm thrilled if they're out there and there's people that are following those, but honestly, I haven't even had the time to go in and check out any of those platforms to see who else is there.
I just did that with my podcast, The Life of an Average Joe. And I did that because we're on Stitcher now. I had to request Stitcher, but they put me on right away. And now there's a new one that I'm starting. It's minicast. It's no more than 3 minutes. And it's called Riff Minicasts.
Riff? And
it's literally, you could use it as a commercial or just a quick little snippet. So I'm experimenting with Riff right now. But it's nice because there is a whole world, and they put you out there, and you could have 50 listeners, 100 listeners on Breaker, and 100 on Spotify, and 10 on Apple Podcasts. And it spreads your name across the universe.
Right. And then there's platforms like YouTube. I mean, great. Everybody wants to be on YouTube, but there's billions of people that are on YouTube. And to find something on YouTube, you can spend half the day trying to locate it.
I've gone down the rabbit hole before, like I like to look at like trailers for movies or behind the scenes stuff or music. I was watching, I think it was Foo Fighters. They just performed at the inauguration, and I was watching Foo, and then they had another video under it. So I went to that one, before I knew it, I don't know where I was. I was down the YouTube rabbit hole.
Do you know who Rick Beato is?
Rick Beato?
Yeah. Rick Beato is a musician.
Okay.
And he does some YouTube podcasts, which I find fascinating, like the 20 greatest rock intros. and then he plays a little bit of it. He's got a couple of people around. Then he does it. Once you watch that one, then it goes to the 20 greatest piano intros, the guitar, bass, all this kind of stuff. And you know, I don't know. I found him just by chance and everything, and I follow some of his stuff, and it's really pretty cool. And he started this about a year ago and just exploded, and a lot of people watch it because you get to hear just little riffs of music from all these great groups.
And no, see, that's something that I would be into, that I would go to, because I love watching that stuff or finding, I've gone and found local music from across the country, bands that
Right.
are playing out in Chicago, Detroit, Florida, and I start following the guys, and I'm like, this is great stuff. And the pandemic has really helped that, believe it or not.
Well,
So,
Spotify, Pandora, a lot of those have grown tremendously because of that too. Your ability to not only follow your all-time favorite groups and everything, but you could just type in something like new age acoustic violin.
right.
All of a sudden you find artists that you never heard of.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I like it, and I think that, again, I think we're going to see a change in social media very soon. I don't know if it's for the better, but something's got to give, because I just get to the point now where I've got to unfollow people or unfollow things. Same with Twitter. My Twitter feed, I went through and did a purge the other day because I was just tired of I mean, it wasn't what I originally had in mind for my Twitter feed.
right.
Now I had to get rid of it. But what's really cool is Evan Andrews, Evan Andrews, the guy who does the weather on the news. He's on Twitter. Him and I have been going back and forth for the last couple of weeks, and it's kind of refreshed my Twitter, and it's fun again, because I was getting burned out of hearing all the negative stuff.
Yeah. Well, like you said, it's a blessing and a curse.
It is.
It's sometimes it gets overdone and misused and all, but thankfully for our show, if it wasn't for all those platforms and social media and everything, I mean, we would probably just spend the whole day just rummaging through our trash dumps.
I might get a lot more production done, or I might get a lot more productivity done if the social media wasn't here. But I'm
Right.
I'm grateful for it, for our shows and everything that we're trying to promote. Like it's been awesome.
Yeah. But it'll get worse before it gets better, probably.
I've heard that before. I heard that recently.
Well, for all the folks over there at Patriot Sandwich Company, and for Brandon and I, and even Bernie right here at Trash Talk, we thank you for being with us. And again, if you enjoy what we're doing, come back and see us again next week, because we'll be here and we'll have some nonsense to talk about. And anytime you want, just send us a note and say, hey, why don't you guys start talking about this or that? And we'll listen to you. We may not do it, but we'll listen.
Yeah. We want your feedback. I can't tell you how important it is to leave a comment, share, email, like, dislike.
Right. We are an equal opportunity denier.
Yes.
So go on, make it a good one, and we'll see you right here again next week.